So my name is Allyson, and I did my presentation on animal testing. So what is your definition of animal abuse? According to the Free Dictionary, animal abuse is defined as the crime of inflicting physical pain, suffering, or death on an animal, usually a tame one, beyond the necessary for normal discipline. It can include neglect that is so monstrous, like withholding food and water, that the animal has suffered or died or been put in immediate danger of death. So animal abuse can really be on any animal as long as you're inflicting unnecessary pain. What do the animals go through? So a question for you to think about is, would you support animal abuse that takes place on an ordinary house pet, and what makes the abuse different that takes place on animal testing? So many of the tests that take place in animal testing can be counted as animal abuse. Testing includes injecting something like a virus into the animal, force feeding the animal, depriving the animal of something, purposely injuring the animal, and this can be like burning the animal, breaking their bones, taking out organs, removing skin, whatever they need to do in order to test their product. So what do the animals go through continued? The situations that these animals are put in, like being injected or having their bones broken or force feeding, can put them in a bunch of anxiety and even cause depression. So here's a picture of beagles being held still and forced to inhale some kind of chemical. And then there's a bunny that has raw skin and a wound from where they've been tested on. Animal testing is widespread. So another question for you to think about is, what name brands do you use? Many companies like MAC Cosmetic, Tide, and Dove have tested their products on animals. There are still many companies to this day that continue to test their products on animals as a source of information. Cosmetic products, medical products, and household products can all be tested on animals and in some way more than likely have been tested on animals. So animal testing is widespread, continued. Many of the companies that people use every day have tested their products on animals. Some companies will advertise that their product is not tested on animals, but they will actually test certain substances that go into their product on animals, so they are still actually doing animal testing and abusing animals in this way. So here's a picture of just different kind of products like Pantene, Pampers, Vaseline, MAC, Johnson & Johnson, Clorox, Lysol, Febreze. These all test their product on animals. So animal testing is not completely necessary. There have been proven alternatives that can replace animal testing. So some of these alternatives are cell cultures, human volunteers, statistics, computer models, and other forms of technology to give an accurate representation of how a person will react to the product. The FDA does not require animal testing, but companies continue to test their products in this way. So if there's other forms of animal testing, why are we continuing to use it and hurting the animals in this way? So here's a video.
Chemicals are in just about all of the products we use. We need to understand their risks. Today, thousands of chemicals are circulating in the environment, and for most, we don't know exactly how they affect people or other life on our planet. For decades, scientists have tried to understand the effects of chemical exposure by experimenting on animals. But animal experiments have never been the answer, and here's why. 1. They are extremely cruel. Millions of animals are intentionally poisoned to death or suffer from chemical assaults to their skin, eyes, and internal organs. They are never afforded pain relief. 2. They're unreliable. Animals are subjected to very high doses of chemicals, up to 1,000 times higher than humans would ever be exposed to. And animals often react to chemicals differently than people would, making it difficult to translate animal data into meaningful information for human beings. This leads to even more testing and delays in protections for human health and the environment. 3. Animal experiments are time-consuming and expensive. A cancer test on just one ingredient can take 3 years to complete and cost millions of dollars. Fortunately, there is a solution. In recent years, scientists have developed groundbreaking test methods that actually predict how a chemical might affect human cells, tissues, and organs. These new technologies are more sensitive and can detect toxic effects that animal experiments may miss. Also, they're often less expensive and much faster. For example, a new robotic device can work around the clock, testing thousands of chemicals every day. In fact, it can test more chemicals in a single day than have been tested in the past 20 to 30 years using animals. In a National Academy of Sciences report, the country's leading
So that was just a quick representation of animal abuse, or animal testing, and how we can replace it with alternatives. So in conclusion, animal testing is very cruel. You can get the same results by using alternatives like cell cultures and human volunteers. So if companies will use these alternatives to animal testing, there will be much less animals that would be abused in animal testing. So just a last question to think about. Do you think that animal testing is necessary for the testing of products? We can help limit this problem by refusing to buy products from companies if animal testing is used. So will you join in on the calls? And here are my sources. Thank you.